So I'm thinking today about the theory that we're testing here, that maybe we're not fully sick, we're just stuck, and there are things to get moving in our systems. And we can go back to the episode called How to Actually Detox and think about kind of the layers or phases of moving things out of our bodies and relieving our bodies of the heavy things that come from modern life. Phase one of How to Actually Detox is to put fewer toxins in our bodies. So there's a whole bunch of easy kind of swaps that I've done in my house and in my beauty products and stuff to use natural products that were all what people would use before the beauty industry or the home cleaning industry became giant just in the last few decades. Most of them are cheaper and easier than, God, the amount of money that we spend, ladies, on makeup, etc. So I'm just going to go through some of my favorites, and you can see if there's something here that you want to try out. Okay, I'm going to start with coconut oil. Organic, extra virgin, cold pressed coconut oil. I use this instead of lotion. I put this all over my body. I love it. What else do I use it for? I use it in cooking as well. And then I also use it to make my own toothpaste. So I make toothpaste with coconut oil, baking soda, food grade baking soda, mint essential oil drops. I can smell the mint right now. Essential oil drops, and when I have it, xylitol, which is really remineralizing and actually helps to to strengthen your teeth and to get rid of cavities. People have actually gotten rid of cavities. People have told me that they have actually gotten rid of cavities by using xylitol and taking their own remineralizing toothpaste. So I use coconut oil to make my own toothpaste. Also because fluoride can actually create a shell around our pineal gland. There's research on this. Yeah, fluoride toothpaste I won't use. Yeah. So I'm not going to go really deep into why I've decided not to use a lot of these things. One, I don't want to misspeak. I'm not a chemist. And two, I think that's just another conversation. I think, we need to make our own just choices about what's easy to swap out and what, seem like big levers for us. And so, yeah. One of the biggest things, though, that I would not use now is perfumes. The thing with perfume, for one, I'm really strong and adamant about the fact that we need to smell each other. I get a lot of information about somebody. We get a lot of information about somebody by how they smell. This is a really powerful tool, thing that needs to be included when you're choosing partners. If a partner doesn't smell good to you, I mean romantic partners, if a partner doesn't smell good to you, they're probably not, they're not somebody that you should mate with, because, there's a whole thing around that. But also because perfumes include perfume or fragrance, and fragrance is actually not, if you see fragrance on a label, it's actually not an ingredient. It's a whole host of ingredients. Numbers I've heard are it can include up to 3,000 different chemicals that are all labeled under fragrance, and mostly they're not very we don't know what they do to the body. And so, make your own choices about that. But so for me, putting on strong perfume or smelly things, again, I can't really read who you are. It really does mask that. And also you're putting it in, you're putting these chemicals that we don't know what they really do. And most perfumes have like 50 to 200 different fragrances, like different chemicals under the label fragrance in one perfume. So, and we're putting it literally like on our lymph, on our thyroids, on very delicate skin, and our skin is an organ, and so we're absorbing it into our system. So I don't do perfumes, and on that note, I pretty much don't do anything that has fragrance or perfume in it. So I use anything that I'm going to use is fragrance free. Like face stuff, I use a brand called Aromazone now. This is a collagen, fragrance free, of course, in glass bottles. These are 100% of natural origin, 100% pure, 100% organic. They don't do, so Aromazone is available in Europe. I'm not sure if they ship to the US. They only have stores mostly in France, but you can order it online. And all of that is fragrance free, and it all comes in glass bottles. I also use their shampoo. And one of the things with shampoo is, well, again, you definitely don't want to use shampoo that has fragrance in it. And most shampoos, they're too concentrated, so add filtered water. So I have like another bottle of this from before I had this, and I just kept that bottle and I put half of the shampoo in it, and then I filled it with filtered water. And then, so now I have like 2 bottles of shampoo, and I do have to, because this has less surfactants and stuff in it that give it the bubbles and stuff. I do put this on my hair, like I shampoo my hair, and it like doesn't really, lather. So I just do that, and then I kind of like rinse out half of it, and then I put more in my hair and it lathers. I also, so coconut oil is like one of my biggest. Other one that is one of my biggest is castor oil. I do my little nighttime routine, or like, I put like hyaluronic acid on, and then this oil, and then I put castor oil on. It's supposed to be good. I don't know. For lines and wrinkles, I also use it for castor oil massage, as you know. You can put castor oil on. It grows your eyebrows and your eyelashes. It's very known for that. You can use it in your hair for strengthening the root of your hair. I haven't ever done that because it just seemed, I have other things for that, and it's like very thick, but you can do that. I love castor oil. Oh, you can put it on scars to help take care of your scars. Castor oil, for sure. Deodorant. The thing with antiperspirant, I know that we are hearing this, and I guess there are some deodorants out there that are supposed to be better, and they say they're, not antiperspirant and stuff. But let's just talk first about like the antiperspirants. They clog your sweat glands. That's like how they work. Our sweat glands, as we know, as we've talked about a lot on this channel, sweating is like one of the best things that we can do to remove our bodies from toxins. That is a huge reason why our bodies sweat, is to get rid of the toxins. And in those spaces, this is right by our lymph, which is like one of the parts of our drainage pathways that help detox our bodies. So we don't want to clog those. We really, really don't want to clog those. So then I started using this aluminum, this salt rock, which you've probably also heard of. You put a little bit of, they last forever if they don't break on you. You put a little water on it, and then I lived in the Caribbean in the jungle where it was really hot for 7 years, and this was all I needed. Like, it was more than enough. And also it doesn't get like streaks on your clothes or anything. I love that. Now, It does have aluminum in it, which is a heavy metal, but it's from natural sources, and it's not clogging your ducts, where you perspire. So it's better. And then fairly recently, I was noticing that I would need to use that like within a few minutes, like when I woke up, because otherwise I just started sweating. And I was like, this probably isn't good if it's like I feel like I have to use my deodorant in order to not sweat. So, and then around the same time, a friend I was like, I use this for my deodorant. And he was like, yeah, but that's also, it does have aluminum in it. Like, it's much better for you because it's natural, and salt. And he said, I just don't use any deodorant. And I was like, oh, let me try that. So I don't use any deodorant now. If I'm going to like something nice, and right now it's August, so it's hot. Like if I'm gonna put on a nice dress or something, I'll use that. But in my day-to-day, I don't. And in fact, recently I have used the Stone a little bit more. And I've noticed that I'm just like sweating like maybe even more. So like my body is maybe just like not used to it anymore. And so I just don't use deodorant. And maybe try it out. But you'll have to get over the hump probably of a few days, but like give it like 4 or 5 days and you're gonna be fine. If you stink a lot, I do think maybe, I mean, you should smell like perspiration, which is a good thing. But if it's like stinky, like really stinky perspiration, then probably that's because your body's trying to detox stuff. So it's a good sign. Going back to like smelling ourselves and smelling people is like, gives us a lot of information. Okay, that's deodorant. For cleaning my house, so that's beauty products. I mean, I use Aromazone is the brand, coconut oil. I make my own toothpaste. I don't use deodorant. Castor oil for like my eyebrows and like my fine lines and stuff. That's pretty much it. Okay, so for my house, I use all the time baking soda. This is food grade baking soda. For whatever reason, the food grade that you can actually make, cakes and stuff with is cheaper than the non-food grade. So of course I buy it so I can use it to make my toothpaste. I also use it to clean my kitchen. Like it's really a good degreaser. I just, on the damp bathtub, put some baking soda, let it sit for a few minutes, and then I go with a sponge and it just comes right off. So really good for that, really good for like cleaning your stove, your kitchen. Just like put a little bit down with a little bit of water. If you want something a little bit stronger for the kitchen, you can do vinegar. I use vinegar for a whole bunch of stuff. This cost me 99 cents. And that I'll put a little bit, like a couple capfuls in water to clean the floors. I'll put a little bit of that in water for cleaning the counters. I don't really notice much of a smell, honestly. I mean, it does, like, there's a little bit of a smell immediately, but then it evaporates and I don't really smell it much. The thing with bleach, first of all, especially now that I've gotten a lot of these like artificial fragrances out of my smell, out of my, nostrils, when I smell something like a bleach or something that has a lot of chemicals in it that's fragranced, it's like accosting my nasal smelly hairs or whatever, you know? And I'm like, okay, that's just to me kind of a sign that like it's not good for you. The thing with bleach and cleaning your house with bleach, it will kill a whole bunch of stuff, but mostly what's in our houses, you know, like if you have like an infestation or a virus and the whole family's sick or whatever, maybe you want to do like a little bit of bleach with some water in certain areas, not on countertops where you cook, but like on, you know, doorknobs and things like that. And then leave the house and leave the windows open for a while with like really good ventilation. But in your day-to-day cleaning, it's just not necessary. And also, because, you know, it's good for us to have a little bit of germs. The thing with bleach is that bleach by itself is one thing, but when it gets combined with other things like ammonia or a lot of the vinegar, then it creates a new compound, and it's chlorine gas, which is not something that we want to breathe in or have in our systems. So bleach reacts with the other things that we're using to clean our house, and even within like the products that we buy, the sprays and things like that, it's often bleach with other products, and so it creates new and problematic compounds. So mostly we don't really need to use bleach. Every once in a while if you want to like, you know, in your bathtub or again on like door handles or the floors or something, but like really ventilate the house and really use a very small amount. I keep all of my jars because I'm really trying not to use plastic. Plastic is showing up in placentas, in our urine, in our kidneys and livers, like all of the tests that we're doing on people's bodies. In breast milk, we have plastics in our bodies, and actually our bodies can get rid of plastics pretty efficiently and fairly quickly. So we just mostly need to remove them from our environments, and our body will process them out. So I use very little plastic in my kitchen. I do have a few things like, I mean, but I don't drink vinegar. You know, I mean, I have plastic in my life. Unfortunately, it's kind of everywhere, but I keep all of the jars, glass jars that I use for things, and like this has turmeric in it, and I will use them for, you know, storing food and all that. I also have glass containers for that. The last one that I'll cover is laundry detergent. I finally bit the bullet a few years ago and started making my own laundry detergent because I was living in Mexico and going down the aisle of laundry detergents, and it was so overwhelming, the fake smells on that aisle, just the fragrances. I think laundry detergent is a really tough one. So look into it. I don't, like, instead of trying to explain it and getting it wrong here, I'm just going to say look into all the stuff that's in laundry detergent. Basically, they coat our clothes with these fragrances and things, and also fabric softeners really do that. So I started making my own laundry detergent. These days, I'm making it with Savon de Marseille, which is soap from Marseille. And I do that with a little bit of hot water, baking soda, and washing soda, which you can actually make. You can buy washing soda, but it's not as readily available as baking soda. But you can also make washing soda by simply putting baking soda on a pan. You can look all of this up. I use Pinterest to look all this stuff up, but putting it on a pan and cooking it for like 45 minutes, and it turns into just a little bit smoother. And this is actually, if you like really have like greasy stuff, this is what I use to sometimes to clean like my toilet and my shower. if I have it on hand, because you have to, I mean, I have to make it. So, but I make my own laundry detergent that way, and then you can add essential oils if you want it to smell good. If you don't have the Marseille soap, what I used before that is Dr. Bronner's. Dr. Bronner's Castile soap. You can also buy Dr. Bronner's Castile soap with essential oils already in them, so it smells like lemon or lavender or things like that. Yeah. And the next one that I haven't cracked yet, but I would like to, is dish soap. Right now I just dilute it more, and I don't buy the ones that are like neon green or any colored. I buy ones that maybe don't have any coloring in them. And this one says it says 100% from vegetable origin. So how do I decide which products to use and which ones not to use? Well, for me, this has been a little bit of an arduous process, and it's ever evolving, which is why I wanted to share some of the products with you guys that I know for me are like super clean or very close, like as close to clean as I have been able to find, so that you don't have to do all of the research that I do, and you can just maybe make some easy swaps, some things that are easy swaps for you. I used to use a site called EWG every once in a while. It's an app. When I lived in the US, I started using it, and then I used it for a few years afterwards, but it really seems to be US focused. I don't trust EWG anymore. I kind of was having that feeling about it, and so I just started doing more research on my own, and now with AI, we can kind of get to, you know, Claude is not giving you all of the most appropriate information or like 100% like confirmed accurate information, but it can really synthesize a lot of that info for us now. So, but I was using EWG, and I went back today in preparation for this video, and I was reminded of why I don't use that site. I went, and for me, a tough nut to crack has been sunscreens, and because I want it to be healthy for my body when I sweat and am opening up my drainage pathways, and healthy for the sea and the ocean. And so they're tough to find for me. Anyway, I went to EWG, I clicked on like the first approved, EWG approved, like green light sunscreen, and it says about almost all of their the ingredients that there's limited availability, and on like data availability, like information about the actual chemical. So, and then I was like, okay, what does limited mean? It's like almost no research done on it. And it said, you know, approved product, verified, EWG verified. And when I get to like, you know, follow the trail to the end, it's like, this is a toxic product that's considered a toxin and banned by the EU. So I'm like, you know, my only advice, I guess, in that arena, or like what I do, is like follow the trail. There are a lot of these sites that are giving us information, and it's really good that they're giving us information, but check to see, like, do we have information on this chemical? Can I understand what it is? If not, you can ask Claude and get at least a little bit more information, and you're gonna have to be demanding with Claude too, to like, okay, but what does that mean? Like, and for the top ingredients, because most of these things, especially sunscreens, I mean, they have so many, you know, ingredients in them. If it's an EU brand that was made in the EU and you can order it from the EU, I think that's at least better than getting stuff from the US. I mostly check PFAs, phthalates, and fragrances, that the products don't have those things in there. And I'm using Claude a lot now. And as I said, like, I'll feed Claude information from like a site like INCI or INTI, the International Nomenclature of Cosmetics Industry, something. There's all the products on there, or ingredients that are found in cosmetics on that website, INCI, INCI, or some of these other websites similar to EWG. But just follow the trail, and then also talk with Claude about it and tell Claude the main things that you don't want to be included in there. And that's the best I'm able to do. And also finding some brands like Aromazone and things that they kind of have you can find a lot on their website about the products that or the chemicals that they don't include in their products. So it's kind of the more natural, the better, and the cutting stuff out, the more you can just like not use stuff, the better. I also am noticing when it's something that I start to feel like reliant on, like a chapstick, and I'm like, oh, I have to put this on 6 times a day, or like I'm like craving for it. I'm like, okay, that's probably got some stuff in it that is not good for me. So yeah, starting to look for alternatives. So there's a bunch of ideas for easy, inexpensive, natural things that you can swap out in your house so that we reduce the amount of toxins that we're putting in our bodies in the first place, so that our livers and kidneys and lymph and bodies don't have to do so much work to get these heavy things out of our systems. If you are dealing with sluggishness and fatigue, migraines or headaches in general, heavy periods, really like any hormonal stuff, it's going to be really important to start making these swaps. And let's see, over a short period of time, like if you combine that with just major hydration and supporting the liver and making sure you're pooping well and enemas, I think you'll see quite a difference if you already have quite a few of these things in your life. Okay, so here's to being well, and I'll see you in the next episode.